Okay guys, it's Robin here again at 10 minutes to go, and it's been a while since I've done a live commentary. We've just got through Christmas and the end of the year, and with all the other stuff that's going on in the world right now, I've been distracted from other things, but it's time with the new year to get back to it. So here we go. We're back today on PandaNet. I'm going to look for a game. My normal settings: 3 stones weaker, 3 stones stronger, and here's my game. I'm black against Nico, who's 6Q, and in this game the Comey is minus 5.5, so I've got a reverse Comey. So I'll greet my opponent. Hi there, good game, and let's get into it. So I'm going to play, I haven't played for a while on PandaNet, but I'm playing my upper right 4-4, and then either upper left or lower right 3-4, with a view of making a Chinese opening up here. So that's what we're doing. So that's my move. And I tend to go these days, as many of you may have seen, for high Chinese opening. I quite like a centre orientated game, and although the Chinese opening is aimed at territory, the high Chinese gives it a fighting edge as well, which I really quite like, because it's inviting my opponent in now. It's saying, come on, do you want me to have all those points? Do you want to, what do you want to do about it? So here it comes. So here I'm going to pincer up on the left hand side of that stone, hopefully drive it into the corner, and then end up making a wall. Let me just turn the coordinates on so we can talk, along the line 16, so kind of top a wall on that. So I'm going to outside pincer. Obviously if my opponent comes out at 0.15, then I'm happy to make some more, enlarge my territory on the right by coming out something like P14, but I expect that they'll dive into the corner. That would be the standard. Yeah, there it goes. So I'm going to build my wall like this. White will play one more move defensively in the corner, and then I connect all the stones on the outside with the knight move. Okay, so my opponent wants to fight here, so I'm happy to do another stone. And if white connects, which I think he will, then I'm happy to extend again one more time. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so that's fine. So that's all settled and stable. Now, rather than playing in this area, you know, I've got a thickness up there, I'm now going to change direction. So I'm going to play this low move down on the lower left corner. It's a little bit low because this is on third line and this is on the third line, but that's an interesting one. What do we do about that? I'm just going to make a base. I'm going to make a base on the lower side, like that. And now he's turned out on the top side. So again, I've got another sente. I mean, this would be a huge territorial move to provoke him, but I'm just going to approach at this. Now, this is a high approach to Seki, so I'm expecting these going to attach. I'll draw back and I'll make a shape on this side. Then I can go back. Okay, so he's done the high one. So this is another Joseki. So he's done the 2-space high pincer, and I can stretch out, and there is a Joseki sequence here that I'm going to have to remember. I would expect him now to attach to my stone at, yeah, there. Yeah, that's unusual. Let me think. What do I want to do here? I don't want to build territory on the... I'm going to go down so I can build a position here on the top side, and it means that the white stones in the top right corner won't be invested in much. So he can have some points in this corner, so I can come down, because that's making good use of the stone I've already got on. Okay, so he wants to do this. We can do this, which I think he'll block that. Okay, he came that way. Well, that's a surprise to me. He's got an eye on the cut here at e16. I can't do much about it. If I turn, it's an Atari. He comes out Atari again. Actually, I can do something about that. So I'm just going to connect. If your opponent's going to give you points, then take the points. So he comes out to the centre. Okay. So he's got in mind of doing some kind of flank attack on this black wall. So I just need to strengthen that wall up with the stone here. He's trying to outflank it, but that should do the trick. And if he comes in any deeper, then I can just come out and attack here. Yeah, there we go. I think I'm just happy to take some. I think I'm alive on the top side, so that's okay. And I'm just happy to take some points here on the right hand side. Because his stones out here in the centre on the L line, they're really not doing any work right now. They're pushing out from the corner. He's got 10 points in the corner, but they're not adding. The black group here is strong and solid. Okay, so he's going to try and come around the line that way. So that's a fairly straightforward fix up. So he's solidified his points, but he's also solidified me. So that was a reasonable exchange. Nothing to worry about there. And now I'd really like to get a stone around here. I'm not too worried if white's likely to come in here now. This is obviously the big open area of the board, and black would like to play on the left side somewhere, and white's going to play on the right side. But if white plays down here, I'm just going to increase the size of this Moyo. And there it goes. Okay. So I've got two options here. I mean, this is 6-line territory, and anything that I lose here in this area I can get compensation for on the lower side, so I'm happy to do this. I think he'll slide and attach to the corner now to try and make a quick base for his stones. Yeah, there we go. So we'll block the corner. That's interesting. What's going on there? Okay. Do I stick with plan A or do I switch to plan B? That's very interesting. I'm going to go with plan B, which is to cut off this white stone. Yeah, cut there. Block the corner, so that kind of secures the territory on the side. I've lost this corner, but I've got these points here, and in terms of points we're talking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're 6-line territory, so 5 by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 45 points there. It's a lot of points, and now that this white stone here at Q5 is jammed against my wall, there's not a lot that can do. It's got some wriggle room, and he's going to try and do a little bit of wriggling. I'm just going to let him, he can push there if he wants. I'm not so worried by that. Because now what's he going to do? So long as anything, that's a bit bold, isn't it? Is that bold? We can just Atari once here, then Atari again. Let's just Atari once here, and then we can Atari again like that, and then we'll just Atari here. See what he does. There's no ladder here because this acts as a ladder breaker, so he's going to go there. What's he going to do? Is he going to turn? Okay, I'll go there. Generally, when your opponent invades, you want to actually strangle them inside, but I'm okay with this. I don't think he can hurt these two stones, the two stones on line 7 on OP7. He can't stop me connecting underneath here, so all of this is now territory. It's no longer 45, it's been squashed down by his attack. But he's got a couple of weak groups here that he's now got to deal with somehow. And as I say, this acts as a ladder. If white turns, I extend. If he pushes, I come. You know, this acts as the ladder breaker for any kind of attack on this, and then these 3 white stones here will die. So there's nothing really to... Okay, so I can connect here on the outside, so now this threatens an Atari. Okay, so he's gone for the Atari. And so now have I got a group in trouble. No, I think I'm okay with this. I really think I'm okay with this. Okay, so if we play here and he plays there and I play there, and then we just make him lumpy. Okay, we'll push here. And there. Okay. There's nothing for him there. So he's got to get this little white group here out and make 2 eyes in an area that's really not going to be easy for him to make 2 eyes. He can't stop the connection here. So he's got to attack and kill this group in order to make 2 eyes. He can mess in here, but I've got, you know, support and friends out here. This should be okay for me. What's he going to do? He's going to do something like a jump here, but the jump isn't quite fast enough because the black can connect here. Or I can jump under here and steal. We'll see. I mean, he's... Okay, there's the jump. So if we touch there... So he's down to 3 liberties now. 1, 2, 3. You can count them there. My black stone's got 3 liberties. Okay, so if we go here, he's not really going to get a choice in direction here, is he? So I'm going to go here. And then we can turn here. Do we take and let him fold, or do we extend again? I think we extend again. Now if he connects here, I can cut here, and he's got 2, he pushes and I turn, he runs out of liberties, he goes into Atari. So connect, block, push, block, turn 2 liberties, kill. So I think all that's, so we just kill these stones here now. Like this. So that's a pretty good compensation for the points I've lost there, because these... Okay, he still thinks that there's a fight here, whereas I don't. What if he pushes down? few turns I take. I'm going to come out here. I think I want to come out here. Because I'd like to attack these as well. But this little black group here on the lower side, the 2-stone, may have to just dive into the corner to make their own shape. So we'll see what happens. He's got multiple points. I mean, if he pushes down here, I can just keep coming down, because at any point I can go back and kill this white group who've only got 1 liberty there at R5. So this group's not under any threat. This black group above is not under any threat. Okay. So I can push out there with the tiger mouth, which means I'm out past this wall, which is my aim. And this move has just weakened the group below. Okay, so he wants to do this. Let's just do this. Okay, I've got 2 moves in mind here. One is, if he pushes again, I just ignore and aim at his cutting point and get the stone in at J2, which he'll connect and then jump and then start a chase here. What's that going to do? Nothing. So let's make my group on the lower side stable. Okay, like this, and pushes, and then this. And then I can cut here. I can cut then at J6. Oh, that's interesting. He's not gone for that. Because can I come outside? Not really. He comes along, he gets to cut him. I'll come underneath. We'll just take some points off him here. And at some point I do need to go back and fix. Let's read this out. White, black, Atari. White extends, black extends. White extends, Atari. Black connects, and white's got then 3 liberties, but this black group can be cut. Okay. Do we attack this side or this side? Give up the corner? Or do we take the corner? I think we want this side. We'll take that. And now we cut. That's the one. Ooh. Ooh. Do we just cut? I'm going to connect. Threatening to cut and that, and then get this one in. Okay, so now we'll do this. Push out. Now this cut's becoming urgent. Okay. There we go up once. We go up again. And then we cut. So we now got a semi-eye between this white group that has currently got no eyes and I don't think can get eyes, and this black group. This isn't going to work for him. If he just drives me down, he drives his own liberties, and I give up these stones, but I take all of these. Okay. He's got to go back and do a fix now because of the double Atari here. I find it fascinating about, these guys. This is 6Q, but he's, and I'm 7. He's a Q stronger than me, but I don't think his reading is that. His reading is not that good. So now my group here has got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 liberties, and the white group has actually got 3 at the moment, but can't gain anymore. Okay. So do we want to give that one up? I think I quite like those stones. I don't want to give the 2 stones up. So we'll Atari there and then descend here and take those stones as well. So that means all the lower side. So if you think about the start of the game, the points that I was aiming to get were on the right side and the lower side. I've managed to turn all of those into points. And that's largely because white's attacks haven't been very effective. They've been a little bit optimistic, or there is a word that we like to use in Go called overambitious. If I go there, he pushes in Atari, then he takes it, so that's not going to work. So what if I go here? If I push that way, and I get 2 liberties, so I'll go that way. Game's not quite over yet. There's still more fighting in this game. And black's got a big territory on the right side and the lower side now with all these dead stones, but white's got still quite a lot of potential here in this area, and I've got to think about how to reduce that. I don't want to start a fight and lose some stones in that. But white's got another weak group here. This is a heavy group. He can fix it. He can net these stones, but that means I come out again on this side. And reduce it, and at some point it's going to be worth me pulling this stone out of Atari. Okay, so we go there. Now he thinks this is a ladder, but it's really not a ladder, because at any point I can kill. So if he tries to put a ladder, then I'm going to just take that. Excuse me for the cough. Taking a slurp of coffee. So, this game is. I like the games that I report on when I'm doing live commentary. From this to be exciting and thrilling and close. This looks to me, unless I make a major error anyway here, that this is a solid win for black. I think it's like white has been what we call. He's played a number of greedy moves. What's white? Let's just check the status. White's got 1, 2, 3. Okay, so he's gone there. So now it's probably time now to just do a reduction to the white territory on the left-hand side. Okay, he's gonna, if he continues to try and ladder me, he's gonna get into serious trouble. Serious. What happens now? Because I really want this move, but I'm happy to take this move as well, because he can use he can't ladder me, because eventually he'll get double cutting points. But I don't want this white area on the left here to get any bigger. So what do I need to do here? This is quite big in terms of points. That's quite big. The move that I would like for black now is either this attachment on top or the Cosme out. But he is going to keep laddering me, so I may as well take it, because he's going to leave an awful mess behind. Okay, that's a lovely move for me, because that now means that I can connect into that stone that I placed earlier, which means I can run rampage inside his potential territory. I've just got to fix the space at the top here. You just drop down here. Yeah, if I attach here, he can grovel underneath. I'm just going to drop down all the way in, like this. And this should do the job to wreck his territory on both sides. So now we can just fix here, up at E15. Because this cut is an Atari and I turn, he comes out, I come out as an Atari, he turns and I go down, and then my reading kind of runs out. I need to follow that through. But the presence of these three stones here on the left hand side just means that everything around here, okay, that's not going to work, is it? Everything around here just becomes neutral, it becomes dame, so he's doing that, so we can just jump here. And make this shape here. So my fears about the left hand side territory have gone. So there's a point in each Go game where you just kind of go, enough is enough now. Enough is enough. I've got enough points on here with these dead stones here, because if we count double for these are 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26. Okay, so we'll just keep taking points off him here. Where were we? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, 30, 32. So there's that cut. Now let's just read this out here. 1 liberty. He goes out 2, 3 liberties. Turns 3 liberties. I think this is okay. He's got 2 liberties now. Now he's got 2, and there's nothing he can do. He can't push in either direction. If he pushes at F19, I'll Atari at G. I'll give him 2 liberties. My black group here on the left hand side have got 3 liberties. So we're now close to a resign game. We're very close. So what else? Okay, he's lost connection to the server and needs to restart within 5 minutes. So he may have bailed on me, he may have not. It's unfortunate. It's one of the reasons I play on PandaNet, is because people are generally very nice, very kind, very generous, polite, courteous. All the things that I like about playing Go with people is that, yes, of course, it's a fight and it's a battle to the death and it's a challenge of minds and all of those things, but we can do that and still be courteous at the same time. But he has, it looks like he's just disconnected and he's bailed on the game, in which case we have to fill in 5 minutes of airtime while the server decides whether it's my game. I mean, it is my game. If he doesn't connect within 5 minutes, but it's a bit of a pain, so I might have to edit this out of the video when we get there, because sitting here and me chuntering for 5 minutes. So let's just talk about the game and see what we can do here. It's difficult without the ability to illustrate, but you can see this is quite a good example of the high Chinese in play. I mean, my opponent made mistakes, and we could look at this and we could maybe do some review work on this game. Starting out, I played 4-4, 3-4, and then this point here, the P9 point, setting up the high Chinese. My opponent approached the upper corner. I pincer on the outside, and the pincer on the outside was deliberate. I was expecting him to dive in so that I could build this wall, almost kind of capping off the top of my my area. And then white came in lower down, but white ended up with 2 weak groups, this weak group and this weak group, and it's very difficult. And I had one. My weak group was here because the edge was solid and the lower side was solid, and so it was this black group coming out here, if you remember, on the NOP7 line that was the weak one. But when your opponent has 2 weak groups and you've got one, they've got to look after 2 groups, and that's really quite difficult to do. It's really quite difficult to do because you only get 1 move. And each turn is just 1 move, and you're trying to look after, it's like looking after small animals or children. It's really difficult when you've only got you've got 3 children and 2 hands. It's very difficult to manage in that way. I'm just going to check over here on the rooms room to see if that game has been given to me in the archive now. So that was last one. No, it looks like it's still an active game. Let's go back to the play tab. We're still waiting for him to join in. And so it's very difficult. This situation that he got into here is kind of a classic. It shouldn't be happening. I mean, I wouldn't expect a 6Q PandaNet player to do this, but he treated this black group here as if it was in a ladder, and it was never in a ladder because of the Atari on his group at R5 at any point. At any point, black simply goes back and takes those stones out and gets unlimited liberties. So by chasing my group across the board, he just produced this super solid lump here. And actually his attack here was over ambitious and greedy as well. I'm sorry if my opponent's ever listening to this, but it was over ambitious and greedy. Earlier in the game, white had huge potential over on the left hand side, and I don't think I can do a review with this game until it ends up. He had huge potential on the left hand side, not quite as big because the opening, the exchanges in the opening is white got up here 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 points in the upper right. Okay, that's solid points, but black got this position alongside it and the position below it. Now this is a really good example of, particularly for double digit Q, 25Q, 20Q players, lots of my students who are at that level, is we tend to kind of really obsess about the points in the corner. I've got the corner, but actually the corner isn't worth anywhere near as much as the outside when the outside has potential. Don't ever forget, and I think looking at the lower right corner is a textbook example, white has got effectively 1, 2, 3, 4 points in the corner, but those stones will take no further part in the game. They're finished. It's a bit like if you imagine a piece of lead shot or a heavy ball at a height, it's got what we call potential energy, and that potential energy when it falls turns into kinetic energy, moving energy, and then it strikes the ground and makes heat and sound. Energy transforms. Well, ghost stones have energy. There we go. So I won the adjourn game, so he's timed out. If we just look at here at the game record, it says I won by resign, but it was a timeout. So let's just go back to our game now. Okay, so let's just have a quick look at what happened here. So I'm just going to bounce my way through. So we did the opening. This was the intention here was that if white came out, then black can come out. But white went in, took the wall. I made the outside because I'm interested in the center and the outside. That's part of my style of go and my go strategy. White came here so I could connect, and then come out here. And so this wall is now pretty thick and solid, and so the points in between this stone and this wall are largely mine. But remember, this we call this kind of shape thickness, and it's called thickness because it can't be penetrated by your opponent. And the idea of thickness is not to make territory. It's a mistake that we often make as beginners. We think, oh, I've got these points in here. Actually, we use thickness to attack. If white came in here, say somewhere like Q12, we would immediately cap him and push him towards the thickness, drive them towards the thickness. It's like herding sheep or herding an animal towards a precipice or a solid canyon. They cannot go any further when they hit that canyon, and you'll kill them or you'll capture them. So we use thickness to attack, and if white came in here, I would happily drive him against the wall while making territory down below. So that's what we're doing. So white comes out. So that puzzled me for a while, so I just went, keep it simple, make a base for your stones. I think if you're never quite sure what to do, always make a base. Make sure your stones can't get attacked. White came out, and I think at that point I approached here. White's move surprised me here, because given that this black stone is knocked out of commission, the one on M17, I would have expected a white extension somewhere around G17. That would have been my expectation. The white makes a base and takes some solid territory. But white didn't do that. White wanted the outside. I invited the attached Joseki here, which that didn't come. So I was really pretty happy with this outcome. And again, I thought white might play here and take the stone. White came out. The white coming out didn't provide a threat because there's no cutting point here, because if white cuts, then black can simply ladder that stone out down here, because the black wall is thick and it's got enough liberties. So black connected, white came out, and then I didn't white. The reason black played there, you go, well, all that stuff you're saying about this is a thick solid wall, why there? Because I didn't want white there. White there would cause some problems with that cut, and actually it would act as a breaker on this turn. So I did that, which made the territory, and then white came out. And then this was another big territorial move. I think I remember talking about how many points. This move I think was way too small for this, but it's just lost focus. You know, we know what's going to happen. White keeps Sente, but he's just made black stronger, and we shouldn't make our opponent stronger, particularly in the first, whatever we are, 20-30 stones of the game, before the mid game. We're still in the opening. We're about to transit from the opening to the mid game, and you shouldn't be making your opponent stronger, because that means there's no further mid game potential for that area of the board. So then white came in. As I said at the time, I'm quite happy for white to even live in this area here, because this is pretty solid, and instead I'll take my compensation on the lower side. I didn't expect white here. I thought white would draw back here. I thought white would draw back and then try and make a base on the side here. So white draws back. We shall see. So white offered there. So I was able then to simply take all of the outside. Again, this is a really good example. Blocking here would give white too much freedom for maneuver. So blocking underneath I think was correct. And that leaves this Atari in place, followed by a second Atari, because this stone here at 09 isn't worth much. White comes out again, this Atari. And white can't effectively attack these two stones because of the presence of the one here down on 04 that acts as a ladder breaker. So white comes out, black comes out. Then here's the same shape again, so white turns, black turns, and black connects. I didn't want to leave a cutting point in my shape. White comes out. And this is reducing liberties for white. Here, here, here. Here, turn and Atari. And now the white stones are in trouble again. Notice that if white connects here at N6, black can block here at K6. And then the white stones have got two liberties. But if white pushes, black blocks again and puts white into Atari. So the stones are lost at this point. So white came down, black came down. Then this move by black was kind of my just security blanket. Make sure white can't do anything. I don't want these white stones obviously to connect to the outside because white's got friends out here. So black pushes in, white comes down, and then I went, do I have to do anything here? No. This black group here is not under threat because at any point black can kill here. So it's not under threat, so I got moves elsewhere. So I made sure that this group couldn't be shut in. That white couldn't shut in and make a wall because white has got a couple of sente moves here. This push here is a white sente because it's an Atari. If black comes out, then white gets to cut on the other side, and I didn't want white to make a solid wall using these stones down the side because then this territory, the territory on the left, white's got good shape on the left, could become very real. So my aim was to get out there. And this was the only move available to white, so I may connect out with the tiger mouse. So this black group, because of the death of these, is now facing out, and it's facing out against this area of the board, and makes it much more difficult for white to make territory in that area. So white came down, I turned, and this is where this stone becomes vital because of the cutting point here. And the cutting point, it wasn't for cutting straight away because black wasn't secure enough or strong enough here to take the pressure of that fight. So first we had to strengthen up that black group. So this one here was threatening to cut and connect underneath. So that was a sente, and then we attach on this side, and then white started this little fight. And I'm not interested in the corner per se. I'm interested in having a thick, strong, at least one-eyed black group here, because I know after the cut white doesn't have any eyes and can't make eyes underneath, because if white pushes black blocks, and 3 spaces on the edge is not enough for an eye. So I was happy to give up the black stones here like this in order to have a group here with at least one eye to do this attack. So that we do that, black connects, I get the Atari in, white does it, I come up, and again notice this cut's irrelevant, and so white cuts, I can give up the 2 stones, black comes up, white comes up, black comes up, white comes out, and then black cuts. And to be honest, at that point I think the game's over. I don't know whether we can get a score estimate at that point. Yeah, black by 60 points. I mean, it's saying that everything on the lower side is dead, everything on the right side is dead. It's game over. Notice, the calculator says, well, there's not a black stone in this area of the board, but given the size and the openness of this territory, it's not going to be difficult for black to find a place there. And if we just skip through, we saw that the white stones died, and then white. This move was an interesting one. I didn't think that it would work the way it did. I thought white would attach underneath, and then I'd come down this way and just squash down white down to the 4th line, so 3-line territory. But in the event, white kind of pursued this ladder, which wasn't, and that meant I messed with all the territory, and it was a resign game. Okay, that'll do for now. Thanks for that. It was a fun game, or a fun game for me, because it was a fairly straightforward win. But I hope there are some points there that are useful for you guys, and that it all made sense. Any questions, any doubts, please post below. And of course, as always, if you've enjoyed 10 minutes to go, if you enjoyed the way that I've taught and I described the game, then please give me a thumbs up, give me a like. It helps with traffic to the site. And if you want to see more from 10 minutes to go, then please subscribe. We'll be happy to have you. Okay guys, thanks for now. See you soon. Bye.